She got pregnant on purpose to trap him. Everyone knows it. I was standing in the hallway outside my mother-in-law's kitchen, holding my 6-month-old daughter, when I heard my sister-in-law Danielle say those words. She wasn't whispering. She wanted me to hear. She was performing for an audience of aunts and cousins, and I was supposed to be the villain in her Christmas Eve theater. Tyler was going places before she came along, Danielle continued. Now he's stuck supporting her lazy lifestyle, while she sits at home pretending that being a mom is a full-time job. She doesn't work. She doesn't contribute. He pays for everything. It's pathetic. I adjusted my daughter on my hip. She was sleeping, her tiny hand curled against my collarbone. She had no idea that her existence was being used as evidence in a prosecution against her mother. And Danielle had no idea that the man she claimed was supporting me was actually being supported by me in ways she couldn't begin to imagine. Drop a comment and let me know where you're listening from and what time it is for you right now. I'd love to know who's part of our community. My name is Savannah Mercer Whitfield. I'm 32 years old. I have an MBA from Wharton, a law degree I never used, and a trust fund I've never touched. What I do have, and what nobody in Tyler's family knows, is a 51% ownership stake in Mercer Industrial Supply, a logistics and manufacturing company my grandfather founded in 1962. It currently employs 2,400 people across 6 states and generates approximately $180 million in annual revenue. Tyler works there. He's a regional sales manager. He makes $142,000 a year plus bonuses. He thinks he got the job because of his impressive interview and his business degree from a mid-tier state school. He got the job because I asked my father to hire him. When Tyler and I met 4 years ago, he was working at a struggling startup that was 3 months from bankruptcy. He was talented, ambitious, and drowning. I saw potential in him. More importantly, I loved him. So when the startup folded and he was devastated, I quietly mentioned to my father that there might be a good candidate worth interviewing. My father, ever the businessman, made Tyler earn the position. The interview process was rigorous. The first year was probationary, but Tyler rose to the occasion. He worked hard. He proved himself. And eventually, he became one of the company's top performers. He just never knew who owned the company he worked for. I didn't tell him because I didn't want our relationship to be about money. I had dated men before who changed the moment they found out about my family's wealth. They either became intimidated and resentful, or they became calculating and greedy. Tyler was neither. He loved me when he thought I was just a consultant who worked from home. He proposed with a ring he saved for 8 months to buy. He cried when our daughter was born. I kept my family's business separate because I wanted to protect what we had. I wanted to know he chose me, not my net worth. But standing in that hallway, listening to Danielle tell a roomful of people that I was a gold-digging trap artist who contributed nothing to my marriage, I realized that my silence had created a vacuum, and Danielle had filled it with poison. I walked into the kitchen. The conversation stopped like someone had hit pause on a recording. 6 faces turned toward me. Danielle's smirk didn't falter. She was bold. I'll give her that. Savannah, she said sweetly. We were just talking about how lucky Tyler is to have such a devoted wife. I heard, I said. You have a very clear understanding of our marriage. Incorrect, but clear. Her eyes narrowed. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. Tyler had dreams before you came along. He was going to start his own business. Now he's working some corporate job to pay for your organic groceries and your yoga classes while you play stay-at-home mom. That corporate job, I said calmly, is at Mercer Industrial Supply. So that's my family's company. My grandfather founded it. My father is the CEO, and I'm the majority shareholder. The silence in the kitchen was so complete I could hear the clock ticking in the living room. One of the aunts set down her wine glass. A cousin covered her mouth. Danielle's smirk dissolved into confusion, then disbelief, then something that looked almost like fear. That's not true, she stammered. Tyler would have told us. Tyler doesn't know, I said. I never told him. I wanted our relationship to be about who we are, not what I have. But since you're so concerned about who supports whom, let me be clear. Tyler's salary, his health insurance, his retirement plan, his annual bonus. All of it comes from a company that I own the controlling stake in. Every dollar he deposits into our joint account originated from my family's business. I don't work because I don't need to. My investments generate more passive income in a month than Tyler makes in a year. I let that sink in. Danielle's face had gone pale. The lazy woman you've been mocking for 2 years? I could buy this house. I could buy this entire street. I stay home with my daughter because I choose to, not because I can't do anything else. And the man you think is stuck supporting me? He has a career because I loved him enough to give him an opportunity when he had nothing. I turned to leave, then stopped. One more thing, Danielle. You said Tyler was going places before me. Let me tell you where he was going. His startup was 3 months from bankruptcy. He had $47,000 in debt. He was sleeping on a friend's couch because he couldn't afford rent. I didn't trap him. I saved him. And I've never once thrown it in his face, because that's not what love looks like. I walked out of the kitchen with my daughter still sleeping peacefully against my chest. Tyler found me 20 minutes later in the guest bedroom, sitting in the rocking chair by the window. His face was a mix of shock and something I couldn't quite read. Danielle just told me what happened, he said slowly. She said you claimed to own Mercer Industrial. I didn't claim it. It's true. He sat down on the edge of the bed. Why didn't you tell me? Because I needed to know you loved me for me. Not for what I could give you. Not for security or status or access. Just me. I looked at him. And you did, Tyler. You proposed with a ring that cost a fraction of what I could have bought myself. You worked overtime to save for our honeymoon. You held my hand in the delivery room and told me I was the strongest person you'd ever met. None of that was about money. That's why I fell in love with you. He was quiet for a long moment. I could see him processing, recalculating, reframing everything he thought he knew about our life together. So my job. He started. You earned that job. My father doesn't do favors. I asked him to consider you, but you went through the same interview process as everyone else. You got promoted because you performed. That's all you. I just opened a door. You walked through it on your own. He nodded slowly. Then he looked at me with an expression I'd never seen before. Not anger. Not betrayal. Something softer. You could have told me at any point. You could have used it. Thrown it in my face when we fought. Made me feel small. But you never did. Because it doesn't matter to me who makes more or who owns what. We're partners. That's how I've always seen it. He stood up, walked over to me, and knelt beside the rocking chair. He looked at our daughter sleeping in my arms, then at me. I'm sorry, he said. For what Danielle said. For never shutting her down. For letting you face that alone. I didn't face it alone. I just chose to handle it my way. What happens now? I took a breath. This was the part one had been thinking about since I walked out of that kitchen. Danielle has spent 2 years poisoning your family against me. She's told them I'm a gold digger, a trap artist, a lazy freeloader. She's done it at dinners, at holidays, behind my back and to my face. Tonight was just the loudest version. I've ignored it because I thought it didn't matter. But it does matter, Tyler. Because our daughter is going to grow up hearing those whispers. She's going to learn that her mother is someone to be mocked. I looked him directly in the eyes. I need you to make a choice. Either Danielle apologizes, publicly, to your entire family for every lie she's told, or she's out of our lives. Completely. No holidays. No birthdays. No casual dinners. She doesn't get to tear me down for years and then pretend nothing happened just because she got caught. Tyler didn't hesitate. I'll talk to her tomorrow. No, I said. Tonight. Because if she goes to sleep thinking this will blow over, she'll wake up believing she can wait it out. She needs to understand that actions have consequences, and silence is complicity. He stood up. He kissed my forehead. He kissed our daughter's head. And then he walked out of the room. I could hear raised voices downstairs 20 minutes later. Danielle was crying. Tyler was firm. Their mother was trying to mediate. Their father was silent. By New Year's Eve, Danielle had made her choice. She refused to apologize. She called me a manipulative liar and accused me of buying Tyler's loyalty. She told their parents that I had fabricated everything to make her look bad. Tyler made his choice too. He sent a group text to his entire family on December 31st at 11:58 p.m. It said, Danielle has spent years disrespecting my wife with lies and cruelty. She has been asked to apologize and has refused. Until she does, she is not welcome in my home, at my events, or around my daughter. I love my family, but I will not sacrifice my marriage to keep the peace with someone who has declared war on it. The family imploded. Some sided with Danielle. Most didn't. The ones who mattered, the ones who had always treated me with kindness, reached out privately to apologize for not speaking up sooner. Danielle never apologized. She still hasn't. It's been 14 months. She's seen her niece exactly twice, both times at events where avoiding each other was impossible. I'm sitting in my living room now, watching my daughter take her first wobbly steps across the carpet. Tyler is on the floor with her, arms outstretched, cheering every tiny victory. He works at the same company he's always worked at. He still doesn't treat me any differently now that he knows the truth. He just loves me, the same way he always has. That's how I know I made the right choice keeping my secret for as long as I did. And that's how I know I made the right choice finally telling the truth. Some secrets protect love, and some truths set it free. If you've ever had to stand up for yourself when no one else would, hit that like button and share this story. And remember, the people who mock you for being quiet might just be standing on ground you built.